Hi everyone, welcome back to Tifosi time, and this is the next video in our Sorare Beginners Guide. Thank you so much for watching. I think a bunch of you guys have already watched the first video, so appreciate that. In this video, we're actually going to be covering the Sorare cards in detail. So if you guys saw the first video, we know I gave an overview of Sorare fantasy football game. And in this video, we're going to cover specifically everything about Sorare cards. So you're going to know all about scarcity, value, how they affect the in-game play. This is the video that you definitely want to watch before you join Sorare and start purchasing cards for sure. And then also, I'm going to let you know how you can get a free rare card. So stay tuned for that. So we're going to let you know how to get a free rare card, which could be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars the way the prices are right now. So let's get into that. Let me minimize my face a bit here. And we're going to move forward. Did the same thing last time. So just give you an idea of what we're going to get into here. We are going to, again, types of cards. I already kind of covered this. Card scarcity and scoring bonuses that you get with the types of cards, the value, and buying and selling cards. So see if we can get it to actually just move one page on you. Before we get into that though, guys, like and subscribe this video if you would. Appreciate it. That way you'll get to see when the new Sorare tutorials come out. And also you can follow our journey because we're going to be purchasing cards and playing along with us. You'll be able to follow and see how well we do. Also, reminder, we have our Serie A podcast on Monday nights. That covers everything Serie A. It's Monday, 9 Eastern, New York time. So hopefully if you guys found the channel for Sorare and you like Serie A, you'll catch that podcast. So subscribe so you can get notified with all of that. Also, a couple of the other hosts do some football manager stuff on this channel as well. So just subscribe if you like soccer and you like football as much as we do. Hopefully you get a lot out of it. Okay. So let's talk about, first of all, the types of cards in Sorare, right? So right now, when you join Sorare, you start off with what you're going to complete the onboarding sequence, and they're going to give you common cards. These are these white cards right here. Okay, and then when it comes to scarcity of other cards, there's rare, super rare, and unique. So the rare cards, these red cards, are players. They're minted in 100 copies of any specific rare card. The super rare, they come in blue. They come in 10, and then there's unique. So any unique card, there's one. It's unique of that particular card. So when you start off, you're going to get common cards for free. You can join up, get your free cards, and we're going to talk about what you can do with those cards in just a minute. And then you can also fill your squad, build your club with these other types of cards, right? And we're going to get into what these cards mean in terms of value and scoring, in-game play, all that. So let's talk a little bit about why you would want to own different types of cards, right? So when it comes to owning these cards, right, these are non-fungible tokens, so they're based in crypto, so they're digital assets. But let's talk a little bit about what makes them an asset, and it's subjective, right? But so there's three things you want to consider when you consider buying a card. First of all, the most tangible one, and that's what we're going to focus a lot on in this video, is in-game value, right? This is a fantasy football game after all. I'm assuming most of you guys are going to play this for that aspect, for the fantasy football, because you enjoy it like I do, and that's why you want to get into. So the number one thing we're going to discuss when it comes to trying to value these cards, or why you would want to consider owning them, is the value that you believe they're going to have to your squad, to your club within Sorare as you play. Then the second is collectible desirability, which is pretty subjective, right? It's a pretty big common thing with NFTs right now. But this is if you're a collector. This is where that comes into play. And this is subjective because, I might like a particular club and want to own all the players on that club, right? Someone else might have that card, hate and despise that club, right? So they may have no value in that card. So this is where it's a little bit subjective. Also, like any other collectible market, it goes up, it goes down. It's very hard to predict, right? So this is something that you're gonna have to, really think about and say, okay, how much credence or how much importance do I put on like collectible desirability? Because the thing with non-fungible tokens are that these are unique cards to you where you can prove ownership. So, the thought is it's a digital asset over time that you can resell, right? As they go up in value, you could potentially make money. And a lot of people have done that with Sorare. It's a fairly new game, and there's been an influx of people going into it, and the card values have shot up. People are flipping cards, right? So there's a little bit of that speculation in the market. And then there's third-party games. So more and more third-party games are going to come out where you'll be able to use these Sorare cards in those games, right? So those are the three things when you think about purchasing a card should come into mind from a high end of like, how much do I want to pay? Do I want this card? Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So let's go into it a little bit deeper now. So let's talk about, we said we're going to spend most of the time on in-game value. So in order to do that, you need to understand a little bit about how is the fantasy score actually calculated for Sorare. So there's three things that go into your Sorare fantasy score. That's your player score, your card score, and then your overall team score. Okay, so your player score is calculated using a scoring matrix, which we're going to go over in detail in another video all about scoring, and that's specific to what happens to the player on the pitch in real life. And each position has its own scoring grid, just like any other fantasy football game typically. So they're going to actually see what they do in real life, and they're going to get that player score. And then it's going to get calculated with the card score. So the card score can have certain bonuses on it. Like if it's this year's card, there's a 5% bonus. If they're a captain, they get a bonus. And then there's the level bonus. That's where the scarcity of the cards come in. The higher the scarcity, the higher the bonus, right? The higher the level, the higher the bonus. So, a unique card at its lowest level will get a higher bonus than a super rare, and a super rare higher than a rare. So hopefully that makes sense. Then obviously you take your 5 players, because it's 5-a-side soccer and Sorare right now, and you add your 5 players up, you get your team score. Okay, so that's important as we get into more about the cards. So okay, so again, we're talking Sorare cards right now, right? So let's think about the in-game value, that scarcity. We said that the card bonuses are affected by the level of the card. So the level ranges are, for a rare card, those are the 100, right? Minted 100, the red cards. They start from a level 0 and go all the way up to a maximum level 20. And the bonus for that given card is 0 to 10%. So if your guy scored 100 points and you were at the max level 20, you would get a 10% bonus. So you would score your 100 points plus the 10% bonus would be 110 points awarded to that player. And I just kept 100 because the numbers are easy. Super rare starts at level 40, okay, with a maximum of 60. So each of the cards have a span of 20 levels. So super rare goes from 40 to 60. So those are the blue cards with only 10 of them. And the level bonus goes from 20 to 30%. So at the lowest level of the card for super rare, which is 40, they would get an automatic 20% bonus. So in that same scenario, that 100 points that player got would be 120 points. Okay. Now, if they were at the highest 30%, it would be 130 points. Unique starts at level 80, goes to a maximum of 100, and the level bonus goes from 40 to 50. Okay, so you can see right there from a tangible in-game utility, the more rare card you have, the more points your players are going to get potentially, which means you're going to be able to win, more competitions. You're going to be able to win more Ethereum or get more free cards, right? So the name of the game is to try to win. Obviously, the more points your team scores, the more prizes you're going to win. Okay, so it's also important to know, like we said, there's some other bonuses that your card can have. So 5% for being this year's card, and then a 20% if you select them as your captain out of your 5. Okay, so hopefully that shows you, the scarcity, how it plays into scoring points. Now let's talk about how the different levels of cards that you might buy will affect what contests you can get into. So when you first start off, you're going to be given common cards. Okay, for the first 8 weeks, you can play those common cards in what they call rookie leagues. You can still win prizes and free cards in those rookie leagues. Great. Now, when you start going into some of the other tournaments, right, in the other leagues, they all have 4 divisions in them. Division 4 is the lowest, D3, D2, D1. You can see here the grid that I put on the screen. This shows you how many types of cards you need to enter those divisions. Okay, so for the D4, the lowest non-rookie league, you need 4 rares and then you can use 1 common. Okay, for D3, you need to play 3 rares and a super rare. Okay, for D2, you can see 3 super rares, max 1 unique, 1 rare. For D1, it's 3 uniques and a super rare, and then one unique. So obviously, as you scale up in these divisions, the competition is going to get harder and harder, and so and the prize get higher and higher, right? And again, this is you win Ethereum here, so you win cryptocurrency. So if you do well in these, you can stack up crypto, by winning these tournaments, right? So there's that level of strategy to it, because people may pay more for a card thinking, hey, you know what, if I win a lot of tournaments, I'm gonna cash in with Ethereum plus own the card, which then I can resell, right? So, but I wanted to show you, like, from an in-game standpoint, not just how the points are affected by the type of card you own, but then also the type of tournaments or the type of divisions and leagues you can join are also affected. So keep that in mind. Most people get in with the D4, and so they just start buying rares. But if you have a bigger budget, or you want to play with some of the bigger boys or what have you, then feel free. But just kind of know as you create your squad what you need to get into those divisions. So, all right, let's keep moving here. So let's talk a little bit about I'm using Canva here for the presentation mode, and it's so hops around, so I apologize for that. So let's talk about in-game and collectability and how scarcity levels affect value. So when you're buying a card, you're thinking of all the in-game value you can have, but then you're also thinking about the collectibility portion. There's some people that are, they're in it because they're either speculating that cards are going to be worth more money in the future, or they're, they want to buy and hold, or they want to flip, right? So the way you have to think about how scarcity levels affect the value or the price of the card is, it's basic supply and demand. The less of something there is, and the more people that want it, the higher the price goes up. Okay, and Sorare is set up like that. When they drop a card and you can get it as a new signing, it's an auction. So when you're with a unique, there's only one of that card, right? And the one that everyone read about was Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Paid I think 50,000 euros for an Mbappe unique, I believe, which is there's some of that craziness, right? 50,000 euros. Now, Gary Vee's a marketer, so part of me thinks he just did that because he wanted the platform to get notoriety, right? And he probably, hey, I'll drop some money, I'll win Ethereum using these cards, and I get a bunch of people to the platform. But, he's big into trading cards, so, maybe he legit thinks that card's going to be worth that amount of money. So realize that scarcity will, naturally, the more scarce something is, the more upward pressure there is on the value and the price, right? Not that we're trying to make it an economics lesson, not that I'm an economics whiz, right? But you definitely want to think about when you start seeing the markets on the Sorare marketplace, okay? So, understand what you want to spend, evaluate the cards for what you want to get out of it. If you want in-game talent or you're just playing for the fantasy football aspect, do your research, see what the cards have sold for, right? And then so you don't get sucked into just FOMO. Oh, I'm going to pay whatever. That would be my advice, because there's no guarantee that the price are going to continue to rise. And right now, I think there's a bit of a Sorare price bubble going on because so many people are joining the platform, and it's still in its infancy. I mean, it's just scaled up in the last couple of weeks, right? But it's still not a lot. Most people don't even know about it. So until I think the platform catches up on minting new cards, bringing on new clubs, you might have some of that, upward pressure. So keep that in mind. And then I also wanted to cover a couple other things that I wanted you guys to think about, since most people watching this are going to be new to Sorare, right? Think about some other things that could also affect the market, right? So when you're purchasing a card, so player's age, that's important because years remaining and how many years they have left in their playing career. So are you going to be able to use that card for 1 year, for 10 years, right? So younger players tend to have higher prices, right? Because you're going to get more utility out of them. Also, kind of what I'm talking about now, a quick influx of players into Sorare. I don't have any specific data about this, but it stands to reason, right? If there's 9,000 people on the platform, then all of a sudden, in a couple weeks, 30,000 more join. Well, that's a whole lot of new players that are going to want to create their squads, right? Create their clubs, get their first rare cards to join these tournaments. So the prices are going to rise. So I think there's like that equilibrium factor we should be aware of when the demand kind of bounces out with the supply, that prices could normalize, right? So some people might be left paying way more for cards that look a lot less, is one of my takes. The number of games remaining in a player season could also affect it, right? If someone has a card and a couple players and they have 7-8 weeks left in the European leagues, and they don't want to sit idle with these cards all summer, they could look to flip them, lower them, buy some players in some other leagues. Playing time increase or decrease for any players, right? They get a coach that all of a sudden comes in. They go from star player the coach counted on to not even playing. Well, that could be a decrease, and that person might want to liquidate that card to buy somebody else. Injuries, right? You have a person out for the year with an ACL. Well, now you got someone that you could buy potentially lower, but you're not going to be able to play them for a year, right? And then there's also, subjective changes. Like, you have your favorite player, they play on your club. All of a sudden they go to your most hated rival, and some people just don't want to hold that card anymore, so they might sell them, right? There's a general NFT bubble right now, in the sense that NFTs is everywhere on Twitter. People are hearing NFTs, new projects are popping up all the time. Sorare is a new project, but it's back. They just completed a second round of funding for $50 million. They have Ubisoft behind them, some big international soccer players behind them. It's a good company that I think does have legs, but there is that general kind of NFT interest right now. So that could also affect, obviously, a platform that has NFTs on it. And there's that FOMO general hype with cryptocurrency and NFTs. So just be aware of all that, right? It's your money. You spend it the way you want, but just be aware of all this stuff when you're looking at it. That's all. So let's talk about the ways you can get cards in Sorare. So there's actually another way in here that is probably the most fun way that I don't have. So you can go on to new signings. That's new card drops that are minted and released by Sorare. Those are auctions. So I put some picture here of one of the auctions that are going on right now. It's Tuesday around 9 o'clock Eastern time. These are some players on auction right now. You can see, these cards, 2,300 euros, 943 euros. So these cards are are, there's a lot of people bidding on these cards. And then there's the transfer market, which is a secondary market. So that is people that own cards that want to flip them. So be careful there, because some people are seeing that and they're trying to like put some crazy numbers out there to see if they can just get, I don't know, some crazy oil tycoon to blow like, 100,000 euros on a card or something. But, this is those are the two ways you can purchase cards. And then when you're in the transfer market, they are listed with the buy price, but you can also make offers. So you don't have to take the price that's on the transfer market. And then the third way, the funnest way, is you can get free cards by winning them, right? So if you hit certain threshold or certain spots in each league, you'll actually win free cards, which is the most fun, because you don't know who it might be. It might be an Mbappe, which is like, a $10,000 or 50,000 euro card, right? Depending on who you ask. So that's really fun. That's an awesome part of it. And then also, if you're going to join Sorare, use, if you would, thank you. We're an affiliate. We do get compensated from Sorare if you use it. But the cool thing in it for you is, if you're going to go join Sorare and you use our link, once you purchase your first 5 rare cards, and it could be any level, it could be $20 cards, you're going to get a free rare, and you don't know who that is. So it could end up being a $200, $400, $700 card. You don't know who it is. If you don't do that, if you don't use an affiliate link, you don't get that. So if you hate me and just hate the cut of my jib, find another affiliate link, but definitely use an affiliate link. That's how you're going to get a free card. And like you said, look at these prices, right? Like if you get a free card and all of a sudden you open up and it's a Joshua Kimmich, well, you just made 2,300 euros, right? That you didn't have to pay for. And if you don't like the card, you can flip it, sell it, get somebody you want, right? So it's still good. So there's a link below. Use that link to sign up. You can get your free common cards. Check out the platform. And if you end up buying cards, like I said, when you get that 5th one, you're going to get that free bonus card. Okay. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry for the choppy switching of screens. Please subscribe if you want to check out the remainder of these videos. I'm going to be putting out detailed videos on a lot more things like scoring. I'm going to show you behind the scenes on our team. We're going to buy some cards together. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Use our free link if you would. Thank you in advance. If you want to get the free bonus card. And we hope to see you in future videos. Don't forget our podcast Monday nights, Serie A, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks. Bye-bye.